That's good.
Yeah, good
That's
stuff,
good.
man. And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. Joined again with Shawn Gervais from OrbisX CRM and Marshall Hill from the Pints of Polishing Podcast and Hyper Clean Car Care Productos. How you doing, man?
Doing well,
See, you
sir.
got more of
Thank you.
that, more of that Corona. It looks like.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Yeah, I'm going tonight. I gotta find them. They're gonna be somewhere. I have 3 stores that are nearby. I'm gonna check each one because I checked online and it said limited stock. So I don't know if that I don't know if they just do that so that people just drive down there anyways and then be like, well, fuck, while I'm here, might as well, It's better than out of stock, right? Out of stock, I'm not going down,
Yeah,
So,
true.
yeah. I don't know. You guys should try that maybe on the HyperClean website. Limited stock. But no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so I had a pretty adventurous weekend this weekend.
All right.
Yeah, which was good. I did something I don't normally do. I usually stay home. I'm a homebody. I'm either here or I'm doing some construction outside, or I like to be home. And I went to a grand opening. I got invited, which was nice. I probably would have crashed it anyways, but I got invited. He's in my city. He's a local detailer, and he's looking to get into PPF and other things. And he's having his official grand opening of his shop because he was mobile for the past few years. Now he's in a shop. He's actually on the same street as me, just about maybe 15 minutes down the road. So I'm in the city. He's just outside the city boundaries. But yeah, anyway, we're close by, so we'll be able to work together. So I went to the grand opening, and he's also an OrbisX member, which is awesome. So hats off to him for that. And now he's a HyperClean user or customer as well because I brought him a gift package. I'm a classy guy, right? So
Hey.
I brought him some products for him to try out, test out at his shop, and so he's excited to try those. And I let him know which ones work best in certain environments because he does do mobile, and he now has his shop. The shop is only 2 months old, so it's new for him. And it was good. I showed up at the last hour. He had a grand opening 12 to 4. I showed up around 3. And I think before the episode I told you I was there an hour and a half after. Now that I'm doing the time, I got home around 8:30. So I was actually there for probably 4.5 hours. 3 of which was after his grand opening finished. It was just me and him talking, and I was giving him some tips on what I would do if I was in his shoes, where he's located, the customers he's going after. He wants to get into more RVs and boats. His shop's big enough to handle it. He's got a huge garage door. It's deep as well. So he's in a good location in a lot of ways, and there were some things I would definitely move high up on the priority list of getting fixed or changed immediately. Most notably, I had just had my car cleaned, and I drove in there, and I'm coming off the road, which is paved, and then I'm instantly met with gravel for about half the length of a football field. So my black truck getting covered in dust, and I'm trying to drive her slow. I'm like, Miss Piggy, don't go over 2,000 RPMs. Like, I'm trying, but it doesn't matter what I do. 6,000 pounds, just shaking up dust. And
Miss
so I
Piggy,
left there, and then I went to a car wash on my way home because I was like, I wanted to see my vehicle look clean again when I got home. So I was like, it was touchless. I'm fine. Don't worry. Don't rake me over the coals, guys. But yeah, so that was a big thing I would change. That was my first impression. Pulled in there, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'd want to bring my car here to get detailed. And so if he's having a problem, people wanting to come in, that could be one of his hangups for sure.
I've heard of people doing this, and I've always never understood it either. Like, he's not the only one. What's his name?
Oh, his Mark Prevost?
Mark. Yeah, Mark's fine. I don't need last
Oh, okay,
name.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark. I've heard people doing that, and I've never understood gravel or dirt. Around here,
Yeah.
there's dirt. There's dirt roads, and you just go,
It's like, ugh. Yeah.
yep. But
Yeah.
we're talking detail. That's low hanging fruit. Good call.
Yeah, big time. Because
I don't know, but so did he buy this place? Is he renting or what?
Renting, yes, he's renting. He's getting a really good deal on the rent, from what he told me.
Could he not have such a great deal and like renegotiate his rent? Like,
Absolutely, and that's where. So he's on a 1-year lease right now, which is a very short term for commercial space. And so the guy was telling him, he said, listen, we don't know if this is going to work out for you. So instead of me locking you into a big lease, let's just do a short-term lease, which on the surface sounds like he's being a nice landlord. However,
He's also not going to do a damn thing.
yes, exactly. And he has the option after a year. He's like, oh, sorry, I found someone else that's going to pay more, or this and that. And so the part that makes me nervous, if I was in his shoes, is I don't have a serious commitment here. And if you're mobile, whatever advertising you put out there, you're going to get value out of it in one way or another because you're mobile. When you're advertising for a location, if your location changes and you just spent the last 12 months pushing hard for that location, now you have to go undo all that hard work you just did and redirect people to a new location after you hopefully find one. You have to change your Google stuff. Like there's a lot of logistics there. It gets
You can't bounce around. You got to get it locked in.
Yeah, and that's where I would all in, burn the ships. I would say, we're looking at a 5 to 10 year lease, something like that. Ideally 10, so we can lock in the best rates and annual increases. But in doing so, here's a list of things that I would like done. And one of those would be, you don't have to pave the whole thing because there's a lot of gravel there. Whole parking lot full. But at least an entrance in where someone could, ideally the whole thing. But no, Marshall, if you saw how much space this is, I just know the landlord's going to be like, pound salt.
Yeah, and I feel for him. You said it was Mark, right?
Yeah, Mark, yeah.
I feel for him because probably didn't know any better. Probably didn't think about this.
His first space ever, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like so, probably never thought about it. There's a lot of us that have made mistakes on contracts or agreements or whatever. And we didn't read everything or didn't think through everything.
I have a normal sized garage door, and we bought the Sprinter van, the first one. It was the tall body, so we couldn't even drive it inside our shop to clean it. And then we're like, oh, we didn't think of that. It was just such a good deal. We were like, let's jump on it because we need it on the road. We didn't think about that part, so we got rid of that one. Now we have smaller ones. But
the key is there. You got rid of it.
All of us. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and said something else.
Right, tough decision to make here, Mark. Tough decision.
Yeah.
Because I think this could be part of the reason that he's having some issues.
If people are hesitant to bring it in, yeah. It was also difficult to see because there's a whole bunch of tree frontage along the street. I found it because of GPS, and I mean, people will find what they're looking for, but at the same time, I would trim a lot of those trees, and then now you have full view from the road. In one sense, it's nice to have the privacy of the trees, but on the other sense, this is a business, and that road gets a lot of traffic. Even just people seeing your business
He's going to stick straightly to I'm sure he's not going to turn away a car, but no, his main business is going to be RVs and boats.
He's hoping so. But here's the thing, because that's very seasonal and people pack them away for the winter, what he's finding is that with a lot of them, they're asking, if I'm going to get it, cleaned or whatever, you're going to polish it, I want to leave it there and I'll pick it up in the spring, right? Because then they get storage as well, right? And so he does have some space to...
Opportunity.
Yeah, he has some space, and so he's been thinking about a package that includes... if you buy this package or you spend more than $5,000, it includes storage as long as it's winterized. Or if you spend less, then you get 50% off storage or something like that. So there is an opportunity there, absolutely. I don't know what that would do for his liability with insurance.
You're going to have to amp that up. But now I'm now in favor. I was about to say because you said you got rid of you, right? Like you had a problem, so you got rid of it. I was about to say, Mark, might be a tough choice here.
But maybe time to...
But maybe
now that you know this...
Now that there's new information on the table, huh? Now that...
that's a good point, though, that I think one thing to raise is a lot of people don't realize when they're faced with that decision, they're like, this is not working well or something like that. Oftentimes you have an opportunity there, but people don't think about those aspects of the business. But taking...
Well, I know some people, he might be this included, like they might not think they can get out of a contract.
I see what you mean. That's true. Yeah, a lot of people don't know the legal side of businesses, right? But there are ways, depending on a number of factors, And so in this case, for example, if the landlord has to maintain certain levels of things. There's ways you could get out of a contract, but in this case,
or it seems like a pretty decent dude
yeah,
that already said, "Hey, I don't think you can make it." You might,
let's
you
just do a
might,
year.
you might bail, right? Like that would be one option here. If you go, I thought this would work. This is I guess this is the lesson. This isn't marketing. There's definitely much more business discussion, more like philosophy of business, right? Like,
Yeah,
should you continue on, or should you throw in that towel, right?
yeah.
When is the right time? No fighter's ever happy with their manager of throwing in the towel,
Yeah,
but that fighter got to live to fight another day, right?
yeah.
You could go to the Rocky analogies, right?
It's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's you got to know when it's time to take on the Russian or not. If we're sticking with the
Right.
Rocky.
It might be time. I mean, this is a lesson you get, and you could take another cheesy analogy out of cinema and go, this is the Jedi way. You know, Jedis would fight until it was like, okay, listen, we're not going to win. Let's bounce. Right? Like they always saw a path away. There is some philosophy to business where you go, hey, I've bled enough here. It's time to cut my losses. Time to move on. I had to do it. I had to auto spot them all. I was a valet with a car wash. And we had some problems with local management that they, later then told me, oh, well, that wasn't in the corporate contract. That was just in our local agreement. Well, that local agreement fucked me. I mean, it fucked me. Should it? Any business owner would never admit that somebody else's fault. Did the local stuff that was agreed upon put even a greater hindrance and troublesome on me, the small young business operator? Yes, right? So there was a time I just had to go to him and go, listen, guys, I'm done. I can't. I either need you to renegotiate my rent, or I'm bailing. I can't do this anymore. We're out of business, and I just had to throw that at them. Like, you'd be surprised. They have a strong bluff, very strong bluff, but they're not in business to then try and collect something from you that they'll never get. They're not going to come after you. Trust me.
It's true. That's not the business they're in.
Their business is to go fill the next spot, so they're not going to spend time, and he already thinks that you're not going to do well. Listen, don't bleed too long unless you start something else at that property. Don't bleed too long. It's okay to cut your losses and go elsewhere, because I think this gravel road's a major deal. And then you might, inside that negotiation, tell them, listen, I can't do this with the road like this, but if you'll put in a road, I can legitimately have a business then that cleans things. Yeah. I'm sure they won't want to keep you at the same rate, but you could at least get a road paid for that. You could talk to them about how it, ramps up their property value. It increases, X, Y, Z, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That would be something you could definitely work on. Or I think this idea that we just had, great job on that idea. I never thought of that. And that would be the other way you still got to get that road fixed. I don't care. I don't think I'm going to try and clean cars or trucks, clean RVs, clean anything there, and then store it, knowing that at every time
you're driving over a gravel road.
I'm just not doing it. Yeah, you got to get that renegotiated unless you're going to shell out the money. I don't think I would shell out the money. No. I do remember being in Florida years ago when I would go around for training. This guy was a very successful operator, seemed to be, and then he shelled out his own personal finances to refinish this brand new place he went into, his own money, and I just went, wait, you did what? And I mean, it was almost like a little bit of brag. He was like, yeah, and I spent this and I spent that. And I was like, oh, man, I'm sorry. Like,
I'm sorry.
He's like, yeah, it's okay. And I was like, no, I'm really sorry you weren't intelligent enough to know that you could have negotiated that. Or I'm sorry you didn't think to reach out to me, who had talked you through so many other things, like,
Yeah.
sorry, my guy. Not sorry as in pity, but sorry as is more of like empathy, as in like, oh man, yeah, sorry to hear that, my guy.
Happens to the best of us.
Got
Yeah.
99 problems, but that ain't one.
That ain't one.
Like,
It's true, but yeah, I agree. I think that's the biggest hindrance right now. That's what I saw, because I went in there. I even told him I took the long way to get there because I drove through the countryside on the back end because I knew that was kind of his target market. And I said, instead of me driving from my shop, because we closed at 2, instead of me driving from there down, just straight down to his spot, because that's not what customers are going to do. Any of the customers that are on that side of the fence, they're going to come to either our shop or other places that are more in the city. That's just what they do. But his side, I was like, let me drive through the country, take a look at some of the homes that are here, take a look at any businesses I see, if there's schools, things like that. And I took note of a bunch of things on the way. I passed by a marina. I passed by, which is obviously a huge player that you could work with. And I passed by a place that sells RVs. And I passed by a self-serve car wash as well that had massive doors where people could wash stuff themselves. Anyway, I passed by a few things on the way there, and so I was like, I see some potential partners here. I see some potential, places for a pop-up tent, things like that, where he could do those things that we talked about before, like a day of detailing. So I think that for him, the key would be talking to the marinas, so you can get in touch with the people who have boats and make it something like, when they're getting ready for spring and they're taking the boats out, that's where, he could come along and clean them up prior to going out. And then same thing for the RVs, because there's already an RV storage space, but they can't store everybody, right? And they also don't offer services, most of these places, other than just winterizing and storage. So he could come in and be the detailer that either does it mobile, because he does mobile right now, or on site as well with storage. But he does do vehicles, like automotive as well. So he's doing cars.
not at that location, you're not.
Hey?
Not at that location.
Oh, yeah. I agree, and that's the thing. So he's doing it mobile right now, but his biggest complaint is people are saying they don't like the travel fees. So he's advertising his price, and then when he talks to them, he says, yeah, we have a whole mobile unit, we come to you, but what's
Or
your
you can
address?
drive down my dirt road.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge you to come to you, or you can drive down the dirt road, and your car will get dirty on the way out. Mark, my God, hopefully you can see. Hopefully you can see this. What are those travel? I've heard of people doing travel charges.
Yeah.
That just seems interesting. If you're a mobile, you're mobile, but you're charging people extra. Why not just incorporate it into your price?
Yeah, just build it in. And I understand different distances, things like that. But personally, the way to do mobile,
I can also understand taking one for the team.
Yeah. 100%. So listen,
Like,
I don't know if you remember, I did an episode with you, and I think we were doing it with Greg at the time. We were having a discussion about mobile, and I said, in my opinion, the only way that I would do mobile is if I did quadrants. So I do this section of the city on this date, this section on that date, so on and so forth. It's the only way I would ever do mobile. This whole, I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go there, and this and that, all those logistics. My God, listen.
Because, this is what happens. Hi, I need a detail. Oh, okay, well, what package you want? Oh, I'll take the bronze package. Great. What's your address? Okay, Tuesday at 8. Wonderful. Hi, I need a detail. What package? Silver, wonderful. Tuesday at 2. Great. Hi, okay, Tuesday at 3.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're just filling the schedule. Not, all right, well, I'm over here, I'm over, like, there's got to be, some people can do this and some people can't. Mm-hmm. I imagine for those that don't have the mindset and the availability in their mind to comprehend travel and going over into this area at this point in the day and being strictly over here to help alleviate travel cost so you don't have to charge. How much was Mark charging?
It varies, but it could be as high as $60, or it could be something like $25, depending on where they are. So it's.
Is he trying to make money while he's driving? $60? How? That's like hours out of the way, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, because he's factoring in there and back for 2 guys, And
Come
so
on, Mark, my guy.
yeah,
I understand.
I had a
I
feeling this was
understand
going
you're
to be the
figuring
area of
in. I
pushback.
understand all this.
Yeah, yeah,
There's got to be then also an understanding of what what's your max. Why would you charge people and not just say, well, you've reached our
you're
limit,
out of our
right? Like
limit. Like you're out
you're
of
yeah,
bounds.
you're 2 hours now. Ma'am, I apologize. You're too far out of our zone. Then that would be the time to
Yeah,
say, and Mark, go ahead and add in. Don't if you're charging 150, no, and you want to charge anybody 25, let's just call all your details 175. Then let's
yeah,
just do that. You
it's true.
automatically got your travel in there, and then if somebody is out of your box or towards the edge of your box, then you could say to them, "Hey, like the plumber did for me this week. They were on my way, and they go, hey." Want to make sure that they talk to you about the something charge of us to come out there. I go,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. They
know,
usually
I,
call it I
I
think it's like
can't remember
service
that they
call.
did, but thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. And then it's like, all right, now I'm done. I'm good.
Hey,
And
sir, ma'am, you're towards the limit of our distance that we travel as mobile. I've got
yeah,
a couple guys on the clock, so I am going to need to add in a travel for them.
yeah.
I want you to understand. Do you understand that? Like,
Yeah, agreed. And I think where a lot of these detailers, the mobile ones, get hung up sometimes is they want that entire cost to be covered. And
yeah,
I think part of it is they have to realize that if you're going to drive, let's say 10 minutes, you're going to drive 10 minutes from your place, wherever you are, to detail someone's vehicle, but then because someone's an extra 10 minutes, you want to charge them for the full 20. But the other guy you're only charging for the 10. There's some of this that you're just going to have to eat as a cost of offering that convenience to the customer. The customer benefits from the convenience, and that's how you're able to get those mobile jobs versus a shop, right? So that's where your expense comes in. That's basically part of your rent that a shop would pay,
I
right?
mean, what would a
So
competitor do if they knew you were charging 60? Hey, we offer free.
yeah, and then now you're dead in the water. There's
Hey, we
nothing.
offer a max $9.99 travel charge. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
it's
Hey,
true.
our competitors charge 60. We do it as part of our business model.
It's true.
They
'Cause
just have it built in the cost and you get screwed. But I never
absolutely.
like this. It's the
Yeah.
same as the people doing the credit card charges. I don't like this either.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. I absolutely hate it. Like, customers hate being nickel and dimed, and number two is that it's actually really inconvenient for a customer now to avoid that charge because they're like, okay, so I got to go log into my bank, send you a transfer, go Venmo or something. It's like, and then it just starts to present this image of your business. Whereas I go to Walmart, they don't do that to me. You know what I mean? I go to other places, they don't do that to me. So most of my shopping experience will be convenience based, and then you step in and you're like, no, no, actually, it costs us money to take your money instantly, and so I'm going to pass it on to you. It's, in my opinion, it's just flat out bad business practice.
This is like last week when he was talking about the frictionless episode.
Ah,
This
yes,
goes right into the frictionless episode
exactly.
because
That's
we
the
talk
long
about
term
stuff.
friction you want. Yeah,
Yep, this is friction. So get it out. Mark, maybe
exactly.
you didn't have to make this choice. Maybe your mobile people wouldn't have complained, and maybe you would have continued to have success if you would have taken the friction out of it. You didn't.
100%.
Okay, all good. Here's the second part of this I think ties into last week, which I thought of. Last week we heard a guy that said, hey, people were excited. These two new owners were excited about me.
Yeah, yeah.
This building was, as you quoted, probably had to come from Mark then too. This building was a great deal.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
People excited about you coming to help them out, and somebody with a building that's a steal of a deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Now both have their difficulties to figure out, right? Like
Yeah.
both guys probably thought the same. Mark probably thought, hey, opportunity of a lifetime, but I'm at a crossroads here. I don't understand. It seemed like this amazing thing, but now I'm a little confused at XYZ, right? Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Mark, you got to get that road fixed. Let's start there if you're going to stay.
100%.
If you're going to stay. Or if you go, hey, listen, man, I'm going to go all mobile, you got to take the friction out of your mobile. You got to figure out how to get that fee taken out of it and just add it into your cost.
100%.
Or
You know who they're competing with? I thought about this the other day because I was talking to a mobile guy and he wanted to add a surcharge on his booking form for gas and wear and tear on vehicles and stuff like that. And I was like, listen, you're adding shit in there the customer doesn't want to hear about. They don't care.
Yeah.
Those are your problems. You know, they don't care about that. And they're not really problems, but who the mobile detailer's competing against, in my opinion, is Uber Eats. Uber Eats is setting the tone for what you can charge to deliver your service, in my opinion. Because if Uber Eats is going to drive to McDonald's and pick up a cheeseburger and drop it off at your house for $4.99, that's who you're competing against. So when you come in at, oh, it's going to be $25 or $60, the customer instantly is like, have you lost your mind? Because how can I order something from Uber Eats? They have to drive there, drive back, same travel time, and they're going to charge me $4.99, and you want to charge me $60. It seems like a gouge.
Let's question this. If one's at $50 and has a $50 service fee, or one's at $100 has $0 service fee, which would you choose?
I'm going with the 100, to be honest. It's the same thing in the end if you add it up pound for pound.
Even you did 75-25, you're still picking that other, right?
100%.
It's anybody that puts anything on that line and adds anything. It's created friction, boom. You immediately toss out people from wanting to do business with you.
Because then I'm like, what else are they going to add in there? You show up, and then now I'm paying for your sponges, I'm paying for your microfibers. I don't know what I'm paying for anymore. All of it, I guess.
Just set the price and move on.
Yeah. Like, I hope they don't show up with name tags. I'm going to have to pay for those too.
All right, I want to go back to that RV storage. I don't want to hang our hat on it too long, but you got to say, like, all of that combined, there's the other option of not could I do a package, but Mark, you need to go out with diesel fuel and start marking lines in the grass. Like, start your parking now. I know that side's not going to be ever concreted probably until the owner sees how many RVs you start parking there.
And then he's like, holy
Everybody loves RV storage. And if you tell people that they can get their RV parked and maintained by you, start that now.
Yeah.
Start it now. And that 100%. Monthly should incorporate a monthly wash that will set you apart from the other RV storage. Start calling around the RV other stores and find out how much. There's your money. There's all your money right there in that $2,500 and not having a gravel. You could laugh at us. In 3 weeks, you'd be laughing at us going, hey, you guys, you're idiots. I just started parking 100 RVs here, and I'm just killing it every month, laughing at you guys.
100%. And to be honest, I would take it a step further, too. I would actually offer, because he was saying, well, they have to be winterized first. I would actually just figure out what's involved in the winterization process and then offer that as a service.
There's some of your liability I think you were concerned about, if he's already saying it has winterized, then he didn't. Either you're right. Maybe he didn't think of it as a business, so he didn't think of it, or he automatically knew he couldn't do it. And so he didn't want the liability of it.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't seem to be too like.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine, right? Like,
no. It's like winterizing everything else. You know what I mean? Like, you have to drain certain things. You gotta, seal certain things, protect it. It's like a boat, Like, I imagine.
And cover your ass. You could do videos and send it to your customer.
Yeah, 100%. And then it was done. Here's the inspection. They'll actually love that because I bet you the other guys aren't doing that. You know what I mean? So right there, boom, you're winning. And then as I was going around the property with them, in the back, he's got like, if I had to guess, probably 15 to 20 storage containers. And I was telling him to move them to the front, but as we've been talking here, my initial plan I told him about, I'm actually changing it in my brain now, I think he'd be better turning those into self-storage units. And then he could offer self-storage of things as well as the storage of the RVs, and then bring in storage of boats, and he could just expand that whole element.
Yeah, then you wouldn't have to work. It wouldn't be a whole lot of them, but you wouldn't even have to cut them up anymore or anything, right? You could just line them up.
Just line them up. Exactly. Just line them up side by side. Boom. We've got these. I don't know. They're what, 10 by 30 or something. We've got 15.
That's at least $150
Yeah.
a
Easily.
month times
Easily.
28. There's your rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus profit.
Now you're living there rent free. And to be honest, what I would do, continue paying your rent. I would take a loan from the bank or loan from your mom or whatever. You mentioned she could help you out. Whatever it is, take a loan from somewhere. If your landlord's not willing to play ball, no problem. Still try and get the longer lease. Negotiate the terms with them, because saying, hey, listen, I'm going to take on this. Get the whole area paved. It's going to pay itself off. And then whatever you're charging in rent, just pay that back to the loan. And then you're golden, free and clear within a year, within 2 years. It's now yours, that side. Now the problem is it's not your land.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd pay that whole thing. I wouldn't pay where they park them. At least around here, people don't have a problem.
Park them. No. I'm
No,
saying
but just the drive.
Money to pay for whatever it would cost. It's probably going to cost 40, 50 grand to pave this whole area. You know, so.
Well, you keep saying whole area. Do you mean the drive?
The drive.
Yeah, not the whole area. That's why you said it again. I was like, no, you're not paving the whole area. Like,
no, when I say the whole area,
I know Canada. You guys have different words for driveway. The whole area seems to be driveway. I don't know.
Actually, speaking of, I wanted to show you this. You ever seen this?
No.
You know Canada Dry, the ginger ale?
Yeah. But I've never seen that, huh?
So this one is with raspberry.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a limited stock once again, but they got me into the store. So but yeah, it's quite nice actually. That little bit of vodka, it's a party.
You're done.
Yeah, but yeah, no. When I say the whole area, it's because the driveway itself is lengthy, and then it goes into this big parking lot right out front of his shop. And I don't know why they built the shop angled the way it was. He even mentioned it, but as Mark had told me, it's not facing the driveway. So when they were back, they used to use it for like big tractor trailers or something. When they back in, they had to go a certain way. But you can't obviously change the orientation of the building. But he does have to pave a larger spot because of it.
Yeah, I think we know why this was such a great deal.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Mark.
And here's the thing: for most businesses,
I think you go into storage, see if you can store a bunch of shit, and then I don't know. I'm not spending $50,000 to pay something. I'm not doing that. I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
You know what else he could do too, though? Come to think about it, if he could get the right storage scenario with a proper gate at the front, so that there's like controlled access to some degree, things like that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to do that. You're right. People aren't just gonna let you store their shit there.
And then it's just wide open. No, that's not happening.
Good point.
But there's a couple dealerships down the road from here.
Yeah, Mark, you're out, man. Just close it down, buddy.
I don't think so. I think there's still promise there, to be honest. My concern is this. He's only been there 2 months, and he's never gone through his first winter. And so without this plan in place, he's wondering what to do now in preparation for the winter. The good thing is he's thinking about it now, so he could still do the storage with or without the paved driveway, right?
Yeah, start the storage now. If you don't make it, just call the people and say, hey, I didn't make it.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to, but
no, I bet you could get.
He could do the storage.
I bet you could get your rent covered. I really do.
100%. Mm-hmm. And the good thing is, then,
be ready for these guys, the owner, once they see how many people you're parking, be ready for them to increase your rent or want a piece of that. Like,
that's the concern with the 1 year lease, in my opinion, is that the guys, it seems nice on the surface, like, in case you don't make it, that way you're not locked in for too long. But at the other side of that is, if he sees you're doing well, because and it happens, trust me. So where we are, they rented it out to us because it was technically a parking lot when we had rented it. It was underground parking, Auto World. And now we renovated it. We made it into what Auto World is today. Then when the landlord was like, oh, your business is doing quite well, actually. I've seen a bunch of your ads and this and that, and I got my car detailed there. I think actually we have to renegotiate fair market value and this and that. And we said, well, we're locked into a lease right now, so there's nothing you can do. And he said, oh, no problem. That lease will end eventually. And then that lease ended, and so then it became a whole big thing back and forth, and he wanted $11,000 a month. We negotiated down to $7,500. So, but it's one of those things that he saw how if we were doing horribly or just he didn't really realize we were doing well, it would have been just keep going as is. He's just happy to rent it out. They don't want to be there. They don't care. They just want to collect the checks. But when they know you're doing well, it's a
Some of
different
the
story.
worst people in society are
Yeah.
commercial landowners.
Yeah, they truly are. They're yeah, and they know they have you by the balls. In every jurisdiction, sometimes there's rent control on like personal residences, apartments, things like that.
Yep.
When it comes to
But a
commercial, it's a fucking free for all. Yeah, it's just a bottle of lube. That's it.
no lube.
No lube. All right, no lube. Yeah, that's true. No lube. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it's a rough entry, but but yeah. So I think he has potential here. To be honest, I think there's just some logistics he's going to have to work out. I would personally solidify a longer lease. I would also definitely pave that area because going in when I drove in for his grand opening, first thing I noticed, I was like, ooh, I don't want to drive on this. To be honest, the size of the rocks, I could see them. They were huge, too. It wasn't even, like, really fine gravel. I was a little concerned that some of it might have shot up, scratched the side of my car. Like, I don't know. Who knows? It was concerning, to say the least. And so that's something I would deal with for sure. His space was clean. I don't know. What else? It was a grand opening that didn't have music. That was kind of strange. But it was a nice grand opening.
All right, grand opening. What food was there marketing? And then what food was marketed to bring people in?
Gotcha. So I don't know what marketing was done aside from some signs that he had put up around. I'm hoping he did some email blast or something going out. Actually, no, he did. He told me he did an email blast. That was good. But he marketed hot dogs and hamburgers. So me personally, I would have went a different route. I probably would have had those as an option as well still. I don't know why, but chicken seems to just draw in like really big crowds. That's what
It's
I would have.
because it's like if you're gonna hot dogs and ham. I mean, so let's start at hot dogs. We all already know we can go to those documentaries, right?
Yeah.
So, do you really think your high net worth and those really great customers you really want,
Coming in for
are they
hot
going to be
dogs.
persuaded to leave their really nice establishment and
Yeah.
come down a gravel road to eat a hot dog with mustard and a
Yeah.
cheap bun?
Yeah, like the guy with a $150,000 RV, he's probably, like, yeah.
I'm not sure you should have steak, but
With
maybe a
something-
thinly sliced steak that you call they put some cheese, call it a
Yeah.
Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey,
You know what I would have done? To be honest, there's a company here. We use them for my birthday every year. They're called Meetings, but it's meat, like MEAT, and then ings. So Meetings, they do barbecue, they do pig on the spit or whatever it is. They do all that stuff, right? They do catering. It's about to feed, because usually we have 20, 30 people here. For my birthday, it's like $400, $500, something like that. One year we had 65 people here, and they charged us $1,200. But like, fuck, man, it's a grand opening, grandly open. You know what I mean? And if you want to drive in people, that's where it's like fully catered. Mention who the person is. You do co-op advertising. You tell them I'm going to promote you to, and you get a discount, and then you push that shit out there. Man, they have everything. You've got like oven roasted vegetables, potatoes, tacos.
I imagine he had a bunch of leftovers he tried to give away.
coolers full. Yeah.
So you think I love that idea? Let me piggyback a little bit.
All right.
Here, I get it. We're a little closer to the Mexican border. We got a
Tex-Mex,
ton of
let's go.
Tex-Mex.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
ton.
100%.
So a great thing that I did all the time was you go to some place like Chewy's. Chewy's is, if you're an American inside the U.S., they've kind of grown to a natural. You could do on the border, right? Something like that. Get my idea.
Yeah.
But they love to do fajitas in this container.
Yeah.
You're talking $100.
Beautiful.
$100. I mean, I get it. Hot dogs were only 30,
Yeah, yeah.
but you just had to
What?
dump a
Yeah.
shit ton.
Yeah, yeah.
You tell people there's going to be fajitas, you're going to get more. B, you're not going to have as much waste left over. And then C, even if you do, you're going to enjoy taking that home versus dreading the amount of hot dogs that you have to eat.
It's true. It makes me think of kids' birthdays a lot, where when we get invited to kids' birthdays and they'll say, oh, we're doing something at Fun Haven or something, and there's going to be lunch for the kids and stuff. And I just know right away it's going to be that thin-ass cardboard pizza. It's going to be, some hot dogs and something. I'm like, And even my kids, they're like, yeah, we should eat before.
And if you won't do it for your kids, imagine the people that won't do it to drive down.
Yeah, 100%. No. And
Didn't we have somebody, was it a Super Bowl?
Yeah, the Super Bowl party. Yeah.
Right. You got to think of that same, right? Look at those pictures. There weren't very many people there. The people that were there were the people that brought their dishes of the stuff. Like, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
If you would have spent some money and catered it with some fajitas or something.
Yeah. It's a big difference. It's a game changer. It really is. And those little things, you spend a little, but to get back your investment, like, what do you need? Because what's the point of the grand opening if you're not going to do it properly, right? If you're going to, like, do something. So, like, when we did ours, there's a Lebanese place not far from us. They do catering, and they brought in a ton of food. They had, you name it, man. It was just amazing. But it was something different. It wasn't just, hot dogs, hamburgers. It was something to draw people in. They were excited about it. We had a little clown that was doing, like, blow-up animals for the kids. Like, we spent some money. It wasn't a fortune, but we spent some money. But that's how we started connecting with the community. We reached out first thing we did, we went to all the stores that were around us, and we invited all of the staff that were there, and we said, hey, there's going to be free food for you guys, there's going to be this, there's going to be that, maybe you can pop over on your lunch break. Because then it was like, oh, that day you don't have to worry about lunch. Our whole goal, because will they become customers? Who knows? Are they coming just for the free food? Who knows? What we wanted was that when other people came, they saw there was something going on. Because there's nothing worse than if someone shows up to a grand opening, they see there's like, it looks like it's just the staff here. Fuck this, and they just leave.
So here's let's throw in marketing inside of grand opening. This would be your time to think of marketing and sales. Would be, how do I get people to come to my grand opening? Right? We just talked about something I'll always like. If you're gonna look around and complain, or he's basically now saying, hey, I have an issue, right?
Yeah.
And inside of his issue was, if you were giving away a lot of hot dogs at the end, that means you didn't really have a lot of people turn out, at least not that what you thought of, right? So he thought there was going to be a lot, but then there wasn't.
You know what a good way is, I think? Go to a local club or something like that. Find out who their main DJ is, their regular one, because he's got a social following of some kind, and ask him to perform during the day, because it doesn't impact his regular whatever he's doing at the club or whatever. Have that DJ, and then he's gonna promote his stuff like, hey, I'm gonna be DJing here, get some people, and then start focusing on businesses that are around you. And say, hey, we're having a grand opening next door. We want to refer a lot of customers to you, and vice versa. Let your patrons know.
If they're a food or something, maybe you can work out of.
He's right by a really good restaurant too. I would have used them.
Okay, how about this? I love your idea. Let's keep tagging on it instead of shelling out your own money for your own food, and cooking it. Why not reach out to some food trucks? Some of them will have a minimum.
Have them just pull up. Yeah.
They will have a minimum. Okay. Yeah. But you're not having to, and then you get to tag into theirs. So you push back on them. Okay, well, we want to see how many social media posts, how many people you guys are going to bring to the event, right? Yeah. Anything like this so that you can bring somebody there, let them do the cooking. But if you could generate some hype around the moment, great idea. Great idea.
100%. Yeah. I think it's always a smart way to go because it gets you involved in the community and it's a way you tap into their social networks and bring in fresh faces, bring in new people. Then those people come with plus ones and so on and so forth. And, that's 100% what I would do. And think about the kind of customer you want. The guy has an RV, which usually means he's got a primary residence as well. So he's probably got a car. He's not living out of his RV. And he's got an RV, he might even have a cottage, and he's got a boat, and he's got this. Start to profile that person out, and one common thing you'll find, I know I can mention it here, it's a safe space, I can't mention it on Marshall's other podcast, he's probably got a nice garden. So, so I would assume he's got a nice garden. I would reach out to the nursery because right down the road from him
Damn.
is a
Nice
massive nursery, and that's your exact customer you want. People that have disposable income to spend on potted plants. Oh my God, I can't tell. My garden cost me about $14,000 a year. That's what it costs in the front and the back. Oh yeah, Marshall, you have no idea. The water bill alone. Oh my God. We have like, I don't know, fucking 15 garden beds plus a 65-foot by 20-foot garden. Like it's expensive. But we spend most of our money on the actual plants, the seeds, the fertilizer, compost, you name it. But there's people out there that, trust me, I go to the garden center and I see the length of some of these people's receipts, and I'm like, let me just slip a little Auto World card on their windshield, you know? It's, these people got money to spend, and they're literally halfway between my shop and where Mark's got his shop now. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's got such a weird name. Pickle something. Pickle Winkles or something. It's got a weird name. Anyway, they're halfway between us. I would talk to them. Can we get a little stand set up where people could buy some potted plants and stuff like that? They can come see some new selections you guys have. We want to get you out there. Have
Set
them
up a
send
little
you
whole
email
expo of stuff.
100%.
Tie into the spouse that let's all know that probably has a sweet tooth. It's probably a cookie company or a pie company or something you can get there.
There's tons of bakers. They're all looking for ways that they can get out there. They don't know how, you know, 100%. And think about this. Anytime a business owner questions like, geez, I don't really know how to market or do this or do that, every other industry is full of business owners with that same problem. So when you approach them, trust me, it doesn't have to sound super fancy. They're like, holy shit, this is like the opportunity of a lifetime. You know what I mean? All you got to do is ask. You just got to talk to them. But I guarantee you, walk into 15 businesses tomorrow, 14 of them are worried about the same things you are. Guaranteed.
Think about this. Marketing, you always want to be the person that gets the attention, right?
Yeah.
Marketing is attention.
It's attention, 100%.
If you're the guy throwing the party, do you get attention? You do.
You do, yeah. I think, yeah, if it's done well. Like that, I think that's why I hesitated. I was like, I mean,
good attention or bad attention, you get attention.
You get attention. Okay, that's true. Okay, so there is that. Because I was like, you could get attention, but it might not be the attention.
So to your point, you better do it right, or else you're gonna get some bad attention.
Yeah.
Some people would say, in business and in marketing, any attention's good attention.
Yeah, there's no such thing as bad marketing.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. I'm with you. Like attention has got to be, it's attention. I'll say that was definitely my approach to mobile tech when, as I did the big podcasting there and, bought kegs of beer.
Yeah, you guys invested.
Bought kegs to come, and it was like, if I'm the guy that holds the party at the expo, all the attention's going to be on me.
Yeah.
Photos to, wow, we had such a great time. Hey, did you see that bit? Like, attention. Yeah. So I love this, Mark. I mean, you missed out for your grand opening because it was this past weekend and the episode's this week. However, great news. You've got some avenues now to go for, your RV storage.
Yeah.
Great time to do a second grand opening.
Of the RV storage, exactly.
Of the RV storage, and now tie in all these other ideas and all these people. And I really bet you could have your rent and have everything covered, and you could laugh at us within the next couple months, be laughing at us, going, ha, ha, ha. Storage, it's really making it. I'm going to have to now put in Luna after storage. And
get double royalties. Yeah, there we go. Exactly. But it is genius. It's a very unique scenario because most people with a shop likely aren't in this kind of a situation, right? So he's in the perfect location for that plan. He really is. And so you just got to execute it, put in the work, and if that's what you want to do. The mobile side, I understand right now, he sees it as like getting him through. So he looks at it as it's going to get him through the winter, stuff like that. But I actually think it's the opposite. I think it's actually kind of a drag.
Yeah, you got to go hard on the RV. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think
You got to
the
get
RV
that
is always-
$60 and any of that surcharges out of there. Just increase
Yeah.
your price and call it a day.
Yeah, 100%. I think if it was to go the mobile route and keep that going, that's where an additional staff member, they take care of that solo. It's kind of a separate offshoot of the business. You do flat rate fees for everything, identify your quadrants where you're going to, Monday to Wednesday we're here, Thursday to Friday we're here, and then Saturdays we do this other one, whatever it is. That's the way to do it. And you can always break up quadrants in a morning afternoon scenario. So in the mornings we're here, afternoon we're over here. But that's the only way to do it. And then if a customer, when you find out their address, I just need your address to find out what quadrant you're in. That way I can pull up availability for your area. And not because I need to figure out the price I want to charge you. And so rephrase it like that. And then you find out, okay, since you're in this neighborhood, we're typically there Monday and Wednesday. Which of those days is best for you and which day could I put as a backup? And then that's it. So you put those two things. I just told you exactly how to handle that call. And then you schedule them in, and when they ask what the price is, you say, oh, the great news about booking with us is we don't charge you all the extras like some of our competitors do. With us, you get a flat rate, peace of mind, and the convenience. And then, boom, you booked them in. That's it, really, on a silver platter. It's that simple. So, yeah, I don't know.
All right, Mark. Good luck. Good luck, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck.
I have a feeling you get too many of those RVs, they're going to ramp up your rent or kick you out altogether and just do it themselves. So there's the other part. You got to be careful
try
about.
and sign a longer lease for sure.
Make sure to get you a longer lease and
Yeah.
have a better party. Don't worry, you can have an RV launch party next month.
100%.
All right.
Yeah, and you should have multiple launches throughout the year. And
Why
last
not?
thing I will say though is he has done a good job overcoming some obstacles because he put up like 100-something signs in preparation for this, and some lady went around spray painting them. She's like an enviro nut, and she's like 70 years old apparently, and she was going around spray painting them. I don't know. She thinks it's bad for the environment and putting up signs and stuff. Anyway, it's so he's had to overcome some challenges, but to me those are small challenges in comparison to pave your laneway, cut down some of the trees so people can actually see your business and you don't have to rely on 100 signs all over the place. The signs are great though, but
Whoa.
yes sir.
Oh, you said something there. I'm not sure I understood what you said. I thought I heard you say signs are great. Is that what I heard you say?
Signs are great. I do think signs are great. 100%. Offline marketing still works, especially when he's in an area where he's trying to draw in people from further away. 100%. Even just finding the place. But you have to have the
I'm
right
going to
sign.
send you a photo.
Oh, you got some signs for me to see?
Right, signs are great.
All right.
I sent it to your WhatsApp.
All right. Let me pull that up here.
This was driving down the road, and here's what I want everybody to understand.
All right. I see it.
Let's put into perspective, and these are the realtor downgraded signs, right?
Yeah.
That are on like a plexi type that have the little stands that you put in the grass and then you stick them into
Yeah, it's usually coroplast, yeah.
Coroplast. There we go. I said plexi or something, but
Yeah.
Coroplast
That's
is
the guy
right.
with the print shop. We print a lot of those.
I'm glad you mentioned that so that everybody can understand your comment about these signs are great. Yes, for a print shop, these signs are awesome.
Awesome. Absolutely.
I dumped early in my mobile business, dumped hundreds of dollars into signs like this, spent many hours putting them out, realizing that there's also RICs to your Nancy, and the RICs are actually here, they're actually paid by the city to go around and remove the signs.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have that here too. Yeah.
So, are they worth it? I sent you a picture. This was driving down the road. I want everybody to understand what I can appreciate about this guy, whoever did this, is in marketing, right? And in somebody reading a sign, looking at your sign, how many times it takes for them to see your sign
Yeah.
and then make a decision based on it. Now, most people, when they talk about this, they say call or, respond. So you got to understand they've got to make a decision whether they're going to do or don't. The don't happens a lot earlier. The do, that number used to be 7,
Yeah.
right? Long time ago. If they see your sign, your billboard or your sign, whatever, 7 times. After social media, after the internet, and after that, a stat that I heard, and I think this was Corona-ish when I heard this, that number went to over 21. So triple. I haven't heard a stat from a marketing company or, that knew what it is. You can imagine, though, if it's continued to, what is that, 30 times, 30 plus times?
Yeah.
Somebody has, so if you're going to say signs are great, signs are good, they need to. And this guy, I finally was able to take a picture. He did something smart. He put them all the way down like one whole area. Now, you can't put them like every 10 feet. That gets too, but if you put them like every kind of like turn area, maybe like 3 within a mile, 4 within a mile, something like that, then somebody driving down the way can eventually start to see it and go, oh, car detailing. If I'm interested in mobile car detailing, which is what they put, I'm glad they didn't say affordable or best prices or no, mobile car detailing with the number. That's all they put. I could eventually take a picture, and then I could eventually, maybe if I wanted to, call that number. But you got to understand how many eventuallys. And if I didn't get a good, clean photo of this when I'm driving down the road, I'll never be able to give them a call.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn around and go like, I get it. You think that putting out signs, I don't mean you. I just mean the average person that goes to put these out, they go, oh, they'll turn around or oh, they'll call. No, I'm driving down the road at 40 miles an hour. I'm half lucky if I get to.
It's true. And that's where I'm a big fan of signs with context. So putting signs near somewhere, like for example, in this case with Mark, if he's going to do the RV storage, having signs near the campgrounds, because there's some campgrounds up by him, for the marina stuff, near the marina, he could, advertise things like, because near the marina, advertise the RV storage still, because those people with the boats probably enjoy the outdoors, and they probably enjoy camping and road trips, and they probably have an RV as well, right? So targeting certain areas, but where I find that those signs work really well are areas near stoplights. Those work. I anytime we've ever put out signs, we never put them like what that image you showed me, where it's like just in a lawn on a street somewhere, because someone's in motion. You want something where someone's stopped and waiting. So we sometimes find where people are putting chip trucks, and there's telephone poles by there, and we'll get one and we'll tape it there, and then it's a place where someone's going to be standing around. Yeah,
You got to think outside, right? Not the norm.
Yeah, exactly. And so the only thing I think that really works well in the medians, like in the grass areas or something, as someone's driving, are election signs. It's the only ones, because it's not something that's there all the time. It's pseudo, like it's context, right? So I know there's an election coming up, so I'm seeing signs, and you're mostly just focused on the color of whatever party you're planning to vote for. Those kind of context-based things work. But if it's just for mobile detailing and you just plop a sign in the middle of some grassy patch in the middle of a street, they're not even at a stoplight, in that case, signs aren't great. In that case, you're just wasting money, right? Because the city's probably going to pick it up, and they're not giving it back to you. Like, they're just taking it and recycling it, And if they do give it back to you, because some places do that, it's with a fine usually, saying, you're not allowed to advertise here, da-da-da, this and that. But yeah, it's got to be context-based. Put it somewhere people are stopped, or something that's relative to getting that service done, right? But if I was a mobile detailer, the only thing I would invest in are A-frame signs. And I would go down the block and I would, as I'm doing some work, I would put out a couple A-frame signs saying, careful, washing a car ahead. And then I would put a few of those pointing to, where I finally am. And that's pretty much all I would do. And hoping that I'm going to get a cluster of people on that street in that neighborhood, and that's more for my benefit, not so I can just get another customer, but specifically a customer next to my existing customer, because that way I'm doing 2 for 1 and stuff like that instead of driving all over the city. But yeah, I don't know what the hope is when you just put it in the median like that. You just they're trying something, I guess.
There's millions of people driving here. Somebody's going to call.
Yeah, that's the thought process.
I remember. At least that was my thought. Like,
yeah. It's just they just don't. It's just they don't. Yeah. But I will say that you are right though. Hats off to him for the simplicity in the sign, where at least it didn't have too many words and stuff. But just wrong location doesn't work. You're better off putting other types of signs out other places and tackling it that way. But yeah. So for Mark, pave that driveway, buddy. Extend that lease, store some RVs there, and send us our commission check. And you're not paying us in fucking hot dogs. Totally kidding, man. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the next grand opening of the RV side, and I'll revisit again with another gift package, and yeah, we'll get that done. Yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. I think I don't know. I'm actually wondering now how I could incorporate some sort of storage with ours. He does have a good location in that regard. Me personally, I would just pave the driveway like tomorrow. That's just,
yeah.
I wouldn't wait for the landlord because I don't know if the landlord. Everything's worth a conversation. If he's responsive, I don't know your landlord. Send him an email. Tell him you want to talk for a minute. It might help if you are going to do that, Mark. Last piece of advice: reach out to 2-3 places and get some quotes. And then that way you can go to the landlord with some numbers. If it seems like it's going to be a lot of work for the landlord to be involved in the whole process, he's going to just come up with a number in his head. He's going to look at it and be like, oh, this is probably going to cost $100,000. But if you have some numbers already, like, hey, I reached out to 3 companies already. This is what they're talking about. I ran some numbers. Here's what I could do on my end. Here's what I want you to do on your end. If you have kind of a plan in place, he's probably going to say yes if he was a maybe before. And if he's just a hard no, well, at least you have the numbers done and you know what you can do, or maybe you should pull the plug on that place, so yeah, awesome, man. And I know a good paving guy if you want. I will take commission from that though. Totally kidding. But Marshall, thanks for the deep dive in this. It's going to help out Mark a lot, and hopefully other people listening if you're in similar conundrums. We'll see you guys next week. We'll go over more stuff, stop putting out lawn signs in the middle of nowhere, and put them in appropriate places. We'll see you next week, man. All right, cheers.
Cheers.